Can I put one on?
Yeah.
Can I feel good?
Yeah, feel good.
I worn that one. I'm going with the
feel
blue
good.
face. All right, so talk to us about how your Rolex is matte black with a red face.
Yeah, so this one's kind of cool, right? Like, here's the day one. So like I said, I used to collect vintage watches, right? And I still do, but I collected vintage, super pure, original watches. And I had this whole thing. Yeah, that one's kind of sick, right?
God.
Yeah. I like that one.
All right, keep going.
All right, so I had this thing where I would help people find vintage watches. And one of the things that I could find, and like I would identify things when they were super reasonably priced relatively. So the base model for most of these watches is a Rolex Datejust 1601. It was made from 1962 through 1986, 87. Made it forever, lots of them, simple, beautiful watches. And they still make the Rolex Datejust, just not this original beautiful one. So the Datejust, this is a bit of a detour, but the Datejust, a new one costs like $6,200 base, cheapest new one you can get. And when I started collecting, you could get a beautiful, all original vintage one for like $1,100.
Wow.
Which was great, right? So suddenly, and in my opinion, right, like it's not just that, oh, it's a used one and it's almost as good. I thought it was better, and I still do. The new ones are big and clunky. The old ones are sort of beautiful and slender. They have better lines, right? Like they're lighter, they're nicer. They're just better watches, and the movements in them are better, in my opinion.
What kind of movements?
So
are there?
All Rolexes, most fine watches have automatic, well, mechanical movements, right? No battery. So you either wind them or they wind themselves. An automatic watch winds itself. Rolex is known for having really good automatic winding movements, and I've actually put glass case backs on these so you can see what happens. There is a weighted rotor that looks kind of like a half moon inside, and the weighted rotor always wants to face down because of gravity, right? So as you move around and do whatever you do during the day with your wrist, it'll just always face down, and that'll wind the watch quietly, slowly over time. So an automatic watch never needs to be wound if you just wear it every day, which is pretty cool. I don't know why, but I'd always had the idea of an orange Rolex Datejust. So I got it back, and I started messing around mixing colors of orange with paint. And was like, got it to basically what you're looking at now, and figured like, it's just like almost not even orange. You know what I mean? It's like this sort of very, and this actually might be the original one, which I eventually sold to somebody but borrowed back for today. But I like, because this one's a little duller than the new ones, but like, I literally like finally got this perfect color of orange and was like, holy shit, like this is it. Like this is what I want. So I found, I have a guy who does all my watch repairs.
You have a guy.
Everyone's got a guy.
You got a guy.
You need a guy. And this guy does all my watch repairs, and he's great. And I was like, hey, like, I'm looking for someone to custom paint a watch, like to refinish a dial, technically, is what you'd call it, in a custom color. And he's like, everyone kind of does this in China. It sucks, but I know a guy in Germany, in Bavaria, who does it all by hand. And I was like, how much does that cost? And he was like, it's like super, super expensive, but it's going to be amazing. So I did it, right? And I got the watch back. And it was like this. It didn't have the glass case back. It was just a regular watch. And I like got the thing done and was super pumped on it. I'd been wearing the thing for 3 days. And I run into someone, and he's like, what is that? And I'm like, it's a custom Rolex. I just built it. And he's like, where do I buy one? And I'm like, you can't buy one. This is the only one. And
in business,
right? Like
in business,
you tell as soon as anyone hears that too. Like that's it. And he's like, no. How much do you want for it? And I sold it to him for like a little more than it cost to make, but not much. Like basically what it cost to make. Because I was like, I can make another one. And again, it was like, it's kind of cool that someone wants this.
Yeah.
And he was just like, yeah, I'll take it right now.
Dude. And
I was like, okay, like, and I sort of had that moment of like, I could actually maybe do this.
All right, so is it just watches? I mean, like when we talked, you raffled off. Like,
oh man, like stuff that I like.
You're in my phone as Cooper product guy.
Yeah,
like,
when the cops get your phone, I'm fucked.
Like
they're going after Cooper product guy.
He moves
mad weight.
You know a ton of shit.
I like
a ton of products.
With stuff, man, I like having. I just have opinions on stuff. Like I might be wrong, but I have opinions on almost everything. Right. Like the best place to buy blue jeans, like I have an opinion on.
Where?
Isaiah.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that.
They're just like the best blue jeans.
How do you like mine?
Those are nice. Where do you get those?
Have you been to Blue and Green in Soho?
No.
Oh,
Dude, are they sweet?
one of the best Japanese shows. I want to do a show on them.
Really?
Like going to it.
That'd be super cool.
They have probably one of the best selections of Japanese denim in the city.
What differentiates Japanese denim from other denim?
It's Japan. It's from
Right.
Japan.
Sick.
What's up?
Right on.
Like these tell my story. Like
Yeah.
These are about a year in. I've never washed them. They
Really?
started out raw, like super dark raw, and now they have this like purple tone with like this blue that comes through.
Yeah. That's awesome.
The Japanese raw. Can't
No,
go
dude,
wrong.
it's like, that's what it is, right? It's like saying something about yourself through stuff.
Right.
And I like doing that.
Yeah.
Also, it's like you have to wear pants, right? Like, you might as well wear pants that are
Right.
fucking cool.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's like if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it.
Yeah. The hardest part, I think, is disentangling the money shit, especially like in America, the money shit from the like authenticity
Right.
part of
I
it.
mean, you can get played super hardcore.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of bullshit, but when you're doing it the way that you're doing it, just because you love this shit, it's very easy to see past the bullshit.
Yeah.
But like these jeans are super fucking expensive, but like Uniqlo t-shirts, the
Right.
best thing I've ever bought.
Yeah.
Did you ever go through a time where you were like the tasteless?
Oh yeah,
Obsessed.
no, totally,
Yeah.
yes, 100%.
When did it happen?
When did it happen, dude? It was like weirdly like middle school.
I went through waves. I might be going back into one.
I mean middle school and now, right? Like if I had to be honest,
Middle
school and this particular moment in my life. No, like
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Does it correlate with you being like confused?
about like the larger
like-
existential purpose of life.
Yeah.
For some reason, I think a lot of people have this. The default is like, if only, and it's such an American thing, if only I had this, then I'll be happy, right? And like, if only I could buy this, then I'll be happy. Or like, then everything will be okay. Or like, then it'll be fine. And it's not even about spending, it's about a thing, right?
Right.
If only I had this job, then I'll be happy. If only I sleep with this girl, then I'll be happy. If only I have a Porsche, then I'll be happy, right? And the sad thing is most people, because you like, even if you're super ambitious, you start off and then you have to like make money or become successful or accomplish your dreams over time. Like most people don't realize that that is an empty goal until it's way too late. And like for me, like I was like lucky enough and privileged enough to have access to like pretty cool shit early on in my life. And it doesn't make you happy, right?
It's
but
not.
For some reason, my instinct is that the next one will.
Still?
Yeah. When I'm in a bad, like, when I'm in like a fucked up place, when I'm in emotional, like bad, whatever, confused, new situation.
Right.
I go back to that. I'm like, oh, like I feel shitty. Like, if I had a fucking Rolls Royce, then I would feel way better. Or like, if I only had like 10 more pairs of shoes, then, you know what I mean? Crazy stuff.
See, for me, it's more like I'm obsessed. I get obsessed with like the act of finding it.
Yeah.
Or like the act of like the story behind it. Like I've cared about old watches, but like this has brought a new obsession because it's like, this is dope because you have gone out and done this little thing that like makes you happy.
Yeah.
And so like when I look at this, it's like it tells that whole story.
Reason that this is cool and why I'm like here, right?
Right.
Because I wouldn't be here explaining to you that if you spent $500 on a pair of jeans, it's the best jeans.
Right.
I wouldn't do that.
Right.
I might feel that way secretly, but I would not explain that to you. The reason that I'm like here with this is because I think that this is awesome, totally independent of money
it doesn't matter.
And brand.
Right.
And yeah, you can make like it is still taking a Rolex to begin with, which is like in a weird way the ultimate like kind of ironic but also serious status symbol. So maybe there's something there. Like maybe I can't get away from it entirely, but
see, I think it's both at the same time.
Yeah,
right.
I
Like
think so.
it's a lot of people that I know that have started or built something. The thing that they actually start making work is the thing that they would be doing, regardless of if it was working or not.
Right.
Like the last dude, I think I asked him if he was going to be building his company regardless of whether or not someone was going to buy it.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, probably. Or like Zuckerberg getting offered $1 billion and going into the boardroom and being like, we're obviously not taking the acquisition money because I'm going to take the $1 billion and I'm going to go start another social network.
Right.
It's like at the end of the day, when you figure out everything is meaningless, or like all this stuff is like this empty promise, but you're still weirdly drawn back to this, then like that actually has.
Then it works.
Then that is the thing.
Yeah, and that's what it is for me. And the one other thing I'll say, because like what I do for a living, right, is invest in startups, which is, you know, obviously what people have said and asked me a bunch. And what I've thought about too is like, could you make this a real business? Like, would you ever like quit your job and like just make watches? And I think the thing for me is that might ruin it, which is like, I get to make beautiful stuff that I love. As it happens, I can make a little bit of money doing it, which is sweet. But I have the luxury of saying like, I'm making this because I love it and I'm passionate about it and it's awesome.
But see, don't you think that there is a way to do both?
Yeah, there's a way to do both.
It's like, kind of like,
I do, right? I spend as much time as I need to and want to making watches, and I also have another job.
Right, but don't you think that there's a way to make the watches, if that is the thing? Like, I get really mad at people when they hate things just because everyone loves them.
Sure.
Like, I'll find something, or like something will be so incredible, or like a Taylor Swift song, or like whatever. It's like unbelievable songwriting, but because everyone's dancing to it in the club, then you have the dude like sitting in the corner,
like, fuck this.
And it's like, would you rather the art just sit in an empty basement?
Right.
But like, because if it is great, like you can make it as big as you want.
Right, but yeah, I guess I'm making a different point, which is I'd be happy for everyone to love it. I just don't want to ever be in a position where like, you know, like I love my job, but I have to do my job even on the days I hate it. Right? I have to go to the office even on the days I hate it.
Right.
There's something pure about making watches for me, which is if someone says to me, if some guy comes in and says, hey man, I'm going to give you $100,000 and I just want something that's like, that in my mind is like really fucked up and offensive. If someone's like, I want like you to take the most rare, beautiful Patek Philippe watch that's ever been made and I want you to customize the face so there's a giant dick on it and I want diamonds all over that thing and I'll give you $1 million, right? I today have the luxury of saying no.
Yeah.
I'm saying thank you, but I'm not doing that, right?
But see, that in the long term makes it untouchable, and because it's untouchable, it's actually the most valuable.
It's the most valuable. I guess the point I'm making is this is not a scalable business as it is. And I could do, but it's a business, right? And it's great.
Do you think like Andy Warhol or like Jeff Koons, do you think that is like scaled? Because like to me, that they've reached a stratosphere where it's the purest, and because it's the purest, it's the best. And so they exist at this untouchable level, but it still is what they've been doing.
So in the 80s and the 90s, you couldn't give Warhols away.
Exactly.
They were the shittiest pieces of art ever.
Right.
Everyone thought he sold out.
Yeah.
You know who Peter Max is?
No.
Peter Max was the new Warhol of the 90s.
Huh.
And now Peter Max lives in a big apartment on the Upper West Side, and it's packed with Peter Max drawings, all of which are his signature. And he doesn't go outside anymore, and he sits there explaining to people who come to visit him that he's a multi-billionaire based on the value of all the stuff. It has no value. Peter Max, you can buy something that used to be $1 million piece of art for like $500 on eBay, Peter Max. Because he created his art, people liked it, and then he commercialized it to such an offensive extent that everyone hated him. Now, it's a weird slippery slope because Warhol did that too and people love him.
But like that was, see, that's the thing.
Was he a purist or was he just a capitalist in disguise? Right. I don't know. But scalable, from designing an idea to getting a fully functional watch that I could give to you. If you wanted an orange one, I could make an orange one in 2 months. But if you said to me, I have this amazing idea, and you and I sat down with pen and paper and started sketching shit out, and then I had to send it to the guy in Bavaria to have him sketch it out. He'd probably fuck it up the first time because he always fucks it up the first time. And then I have to send it back, right? That's going to take a year. So you and I now have created an incredible fucking thing together.
Right.
But it took a year. But I don't know, maybe it's a dumb distinction. I do it because I want to and I get to, I'm the master of my own destiny. And I think because I don't rely on it to pay the rent, I have a little more freedom around that.
Love that. I love it.
Thanks.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for the watches too, man.
Yeah, keep them all. Keep them all.